Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Lindsay Warner. The federal carbon tax rose from $65 a ton to $80 a ton today, and that means many Canadians will pay more to gas up their cars and to heat their homes. It has sparked protests across the country, Alberta included. Pierre Poilievre and the premiers have been demanding a pause in the increase to the federal carbon price. This afternoon, Justin Trudeau fired back, defending the carbon tax, saying it fights climate change and actually puts money back into the pockets of Canadians through a rebate.
All those premiers that are busy complaining about the price on pollution, but not putting forward a concrete alternative that they think would be better for their communities, are just playing politics. Every province has the opportunity to put forward its own plan, as long as they are fighting climate change to the same level that we're asking all other Canadians to do. That's what a federal backstop is. But we're not seeing detailed plans from the premiers on this. They'd much rather try to complain about it and make political hay out of this.
Demonstrations took place across the country today, including in Calgary and Edmonton. The increase translates to consumers paying 3 cents more per litre of gasoline. On top of that, the provincial fuel tax is also making a return, adding 13 cents per litre of gasoline. West of Calgary, hundreds of protesters gathered off Highway 1, waving Canadian flags and carrying signs calling for an end to the tax.
It's making life difficult for a lot of people. I watch seniors struggling now, and the future generations of Canada are really going to suffer, so it needs to stop.
To help make up for the carbon tax increase, Canadians will be seeing an increase in their quarterly carbon rebate payments. For Albertans, those payments will be $225 for a single adult, $337.50 for a couple, and $450 for a family of 4. Rural residents also receive 20% more. A controversial academic who contributed to a book questioning the harms of residential schools says she's been asked to travel to northern BC to put questions to council in Quesnel this week. She won't say who invited her or if she's being paid for her travel costs.
I don't really see why I have to justify my travel to Quesnel to people.
Frances Widdowson was a tenured professor who was fired from Mount Royal University in 2022. She made headlines 2 years earlier for criticizing the Black Lives Matter movement and saying there had been an educational benefit to residential schools.
It's about trying to undermine public confidence in the truth about residential schools, to try and slow the progress on truth and reconciliation.
Last month, Quesnel's mayor and council all denounced the book that Widdowson contributed to after it was revealed that the mayor's wife was handing out copies to residents. Well, Albertans who had the day off for Easter long weekend were treated to a warm spring-like day, and a summer-like temperature is expected here in Edmonton tomorrow, but a big change is coming. Travis McEwen explains.
People filling parks sporting the grass of yesteryear. Runners in shorts passing by a frozen North Saskatchewan river. Even a toddler getting some steps in before the summer. These are signs of spring as the temperature reaches 11 degrees. And golfers are eager to get a head start on the season. It's a little too early for courses to open, but the Victoria driving range is open for practice.
Just trying to hit some balls. This is a new year. I'm trying to see what my new distances might be for my driver and like my different clubs.
It's nice, a little windy. Busy down low, so I had the top deck so you could really feel it up there. But it's nice to get out.
And flowers are already blooming, or maybe not actually, but they are inside Salisbury Greenhouse, where gardeners are also trying to get ahead. Some aren't fooled by this streak of warm weather.
It's beautiful, as long as it would keep up. But we never know. This is Alberta weather.
Beautiful. It makes me excited to grow all of my flowers and everything, so that's why we're here today. Hopefully we have no more snow.
With a high of 21 degrees Celsius expected tomorrow, some can't help but feel a little optimistic that winter is behind us.
This is probably like the start of spring, but you never know. Maybe the weather's gonna pull an April Fool's on us.
And we might not be out of the woodwork yet when it comes to snowfall, as a mix of snow and rain is expected on Friday. In terms of spring, well, Environment Canada says early indications look at temperatures to be around normal to above average. Travis McEwen, CBC News, Edmonton.
So all the snow and ice is melting, but what lurks beneath isn't all sunshine and rainbows, it's snow mold. And for those plagued by allergies, it's hitting hard. David Mercer was on a mission to learn from the pros to tackle this pesky fungus.
Snow mold has been in my life most of my time in horticulture. It seems to appear on vast expanses of lawns. As the snow melts, we get more and more hours of sunshine, and that just causes the snow shelf to reflect back into the grass, and that causes the molds that are active in soil, some of the things that were there. If you've left a big pile of leaves in the middle of your lawn, you're likely to have snow mold under it. It's very close carpeting to the soil and to the grass, and it is white. It's a white filamentous. It's not like some of the molds you see on your plants. You can actually see the fibers in it.
The problem that we worry about with allergies and asthma is that the spores then get released into the air. And when they're up in the air, you can't really see them, but your nose will pick it up and so will your eyes. And then that's really when you start to develop symptoms. Achoo! Itchy, watery eyes, runny nose, stuffy, sneezy. They're the nuisance type symptoms that we talk about when people have hay fever. And those are the exact same type of symptoms that you will have if you are allergic to snow molds or mold spores that are in the environment. More concerningly, some patients can develop asthma symptoms. They can get coughing, wheezing, and shorter breath.
The best way to remove snow mold is with a broom. I have a straw broom. If you haven't got one of those, what you want to have is perhaps a leaf rake. Springtime, it's literally got springs and tines coming down, and you just gently pull it away and get it off of there. It doesn't interfere with the thatch in your lawn. If you're allergic, wear a mask.
Well, early spring means the Fort Chipewyan Winter Road is closing already. Access to the community is now limited to planes or boats until next freeze. But as Jamie Malbuff highlights, warming weather has some fearing it could soon be the end of the road.
For an isolated fly-in, fly-out community like Fort Chipewyan in northeastern Alberta, the seasonal winter road is a lifeline for things like fuel and groceries.
So we use the winter road for our business annually, using it to haul in about 60% of our food product that is not subsidized by the Canadian government.
People also rely on the road to get to medical appointments, stock up on supplies, and visit friends and family. In the past, the winter road typically opened sometime in early December and remained in use until mid-March, but that window is changing.
What we're finding now, just due to warmer temperatures, it's typically not until the end of December, mid to the end of December. And it's, 10 years ago, it could have been a 110-day season. Now we're looking at around a 90-day season.
Data from the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo shows winter road season has been trending downwards over the past decade. The shortest recent season was in 2020, when the road was open for just 82 days.
If it keeps going at the rate we're going, we're probably not going to have a winter road in 10 years.
While there will be years where the weather is particularly hot or cold, the overall trend is warming.
We've seen warming across Canada in the winter, but the warming has been strongest in the north and west of the country, including northern Alberta. And so over that period, we've seen something like 5 degrees Celsius of warming.
Gillett says the trend in warming is expected to continue, and that has people in Fort Chipewyan concerned about the future.
During this winter, it was minus 20 for a stretch, and then we went into plus 8. And that in itself causes issues. Fluctuates the load limits on the roads, and it does cause issues and temporary closures.
McCurdy says the community has talked about building a permanent road for as long as he can remember, but now the need feels more urgent.
Climate change is a factor, is a major factor for a push for a year-round road. That kind of like, that puts a lot of fear and push for this, for us to try to figure something out for a year-round road, because it's getting closer and closer to the point of not having enough snow for a winter road.
But that permanent road is unlikely to come anytime soon. The topography in the area doesn't allow for easy construction, and there's no clear and simple path. So for now, people in Fort Chipewyan will have to wait and adapt to the shorter winter road season. Jamie Malbuth, CBC News, Fort McMurray.
An Edmonton teen is set to be the youngest player to make the Canadian blind hockey team. It's an exciting time, and they shared their story with our Travis McEwen.
Dante Giammaroli plays a lot of hockey. It's been that way for the 15-year-old since he was 5. But at this practice, he's the only one on the team who's considered legally blind with only 7% of his vision.
Using my peripheral vision for seeing the puck, and quite often it could be deceiving for a lot of players, like opponents.
The teen was born with a genetic disorder that's led to his eyesight deteriorating since he was young. It's affected his mother and younger brother as well.
It was never something that we let slow us down. I made sure that my boys had every opportunity available to them.
Giammaroli makes the pass. Giammaroli shoots and scores!
And it definitely hasn't slowed the teen down. Last weekend in Toronto, he lit up Blind Hockey Canada's selection games and was invited to join the national team, the youngest player to ever be added to the roster.
If I wasn't blind, I wouldn't have this opportunity to, play on the blind hockey national team, get to know all these people that also are blind, just get to, build relationships with those people.
He's considered, one of the top players in the world. From there on, there was no worries anymore. There was no feeling bad. He knew he had done something and accomplished something that even his teammates growing up are not likely to accomplish. So we're so very proud of him for that.
For now, he'll be preparing to make his national team debut against the U.S. in St. Louis in 2 weeks, finding a place in a different version of a sport he's played since he was a kid.
With blind hockey, I'll always have that opportunity to play no matter what my vision's like. It provides a sense of assurance that I'll still be able to function and be great.
Adjusting to losing his eyesight has taught Giammaroli a resiliency uncommon for many his age, on and off the ice. Travis McEwen, CBC News, Edmonton.
Are automakers putting your safety on hold? Car owners left hanging with safety recall delays. Go Public exposes a major flaw in Canada's car safety regulations. Coming up next. Transport Canada says as many as 1 in 5 vehicles in this country has an unresolved safety issue. A consumer advocate group points a finger at the government department, saying it allows automakers to take as long as they want to complete recalls. Rosa Marcatelli has this Go Public report.
The fuel starvation may result in an unexpected loss of motive power, which can cause a vehicle to crash.
Michelle Ashenden got that urgent recall notice for their 2016 Dodge Ram 1500 way back in June 2022.
We never thought in a million years we'd be waiting this long.
Her husband, Vittorio Polcini, says the truck was too dangerous to drive.
It will just randomly shut off while driving, like 100% completely black.
The couple towed the truck to their local dealership and waited, racking up thousands of dollars in out-of-pocket costs for rental vehicles and more.
Well, I'm here.
Ashenden documented the wait and the deteriorating condition of the truck.
Been sitting here for an entire year almost, and there's no word of anything.
According to Transport Canada, up to 1 in 5 vehicles has an unresolved safety recall. It's not clear how many of those are because automakers don't have a fix. An expert blames a hole in Transport Canada rules that allows automakers to take as long as they want to complete recalls.
Transport Canada should be able to hold the manufacturer accountable. There should be consequences.
Transport Canada says each recall problem and the timeline for its solution are unique, so manufacturers must control the process to ensure vehicle safety. Stellantis manufactures and sells Ram trucks. It says recalls cannot be rushed, adding this particular one needed redesigned fuel system components that required engineering, validation, and more.
At first, the automaker said it won't be compensating the couple for their out-of-pocket costs, saying they'd turned down an offer for a temporary fix that would have kept the truck on the road. It's not clear who said what when it comes to that offer. But after Go Public sent the automaker emails showing the dealership never delivered on it, things changed. Stellantis now says it's looking at reimbursement.
Money out of pocket, mistreated.
A permanent fix became available a month ago, too late for the couple. They traded the truck in at a different dealership. Rosa Marcatelli, CBC News, Calgary.
Rising carbon prices might have you considering an alternative kind of transportation. If an electric vehicle is on your radar, is Alberta ready to meet the demand? Edmonton AM's Mark Connolly chatted with an EV expert to get some answers.
So far, my research show that there is not enough infrastructure here in Alberta, and it's not something that happened just in Alberta. It happens like everywhere, and it's mostly because even if we have infrastructure for slow charging, for example, it's charge at home, and even that has like its challenges. Fast charging in particular, it's pretty difficult to make, not just because it creates spikes on the electrical grid that is not great for the local grid stability, but also the stations are pretty expensive. Just to have some numbers, back in the day when I was researching this, first researching these fast charging infrastructure, they each station, and I mean each charger, costs about $100,000.
Wow. For those who aren't familiar with how EV works, when you travel a certain distance and you need to recharge your car, if you have a fast charger, how fast is that? How long do you have to have it, plugged in to recharge in order to keep going on your journey, so to speak?
There is, I would say, 2 types of charging. So slow charging that you mostly do at home. So you charge overnight, a couple hours, 8, 10, 12 hours.
Right.
If we want to do the same in the highway, we need fast charging. And that, it depends on the car because it depends on each model specifically. But the faster charge now, it gets you from 0 to 100 in about 20 minutes.
I mean, Edmonton to Calgary obviously is the one everybody's doing, right? So most people would stop in Red Deer if they're going to get gas. They might not need gas at that point, but they might stop there. Would you need to stop in Red Deer or a place like that? And do they have the infrastructure?
Usually cars nowadays has enough battery. So in the summer, you can go just with one charge from Edmonton to Calgary. It is a little bit more tricky in the winter because the battery shrinks in capacity.
If you want to travel in other parts of the province, where are there places that you're probably not going to be in very good shape as far as charging?
Well, if you notice that there's like big highways across Canada, but anything that is beyond or north to Edmonton, it's scarce. So it's not a lot of infrastructure, and the infrastructure usually is not fast charging because there is not enough vehicles. So it's kind of like also like the problem of the egg and the chicken, right? What comes first? So we do put more infrastructure so people buy the vehicles, or we wait until the vehicles are there and we see where we need to put those infrastructure because, as I said before, they're quite expensive.
And coming up next, your full weather forecast. Stay with us. Well, if you're looking to spruce up your spring wardrobe, West Edmonton Mall has plans to launch a new AI-powered shopping service. The details of the new Fashion Fleet robot were posted online this morning. Keep in mind, it is April 1st.
Here at West Edmonton Mall, we're always looking for ways to enhance our guest experience. That's why we're introducing our brand new Fashion Fleet. Using top-of-the-line AI technology, our fashion fleet can analyze any outfit, provide tailored styling tips and shopping recommendations in under 5 seconds. With a 99% accuracy rate, you never have to second-guess your fashion choices or where to shop.
You're the one who owns those clothes. What were you thinking when you got dressed this morning?
Excuse me?
There's no helping this look. Hey, you with the ugly pants, come here.
Hi. We're still in the beta testing phase and
Beta
calibrating
testing?
for response language, as you can see.
I'm speaking my elbow truth.
Wait. Everyone knows the tech world has a mind of its own. Stay tuned for the fashion fleet here at West Edmonton Mall. Excuse me, sir. This is not what we had in mind, all right?
Well, we multitask today, April Fool's Day and Easter Monday. Thank gosh we're not relying on that robot for fashion advice.